Hello, everyone. This is Steven with The Curious Life. And this video is the first video in a series I'm starting. My plan is to interview people in the different places I visit as I travel the world and talk about their struggles, talk about what life is like for them, and in some cases, some of the biggest struggles that they face. The idea is to kind of help people think about the different types of struggles people face in different parts of the world, and maybe help people who might experience a similar type of issue in their own context and help them think through how to navigate it themselves. In today's video, I'm going to talk with my friend named Bella in Yogyakarta in Indonesia. So she's going to talk about her experiences growing up with epilepsy, and maybe most importantly, how people treated her growing up. A lot of people alienated her and bullied her and did a lot of kind of mean things, or didn't understand her condition. So hopefully this video will help for anyone thinking about people who might be different and what might be going on, and help kind of understand the different ways that people with different conditions might behave differently and be more sympathetic, or also people who maybe are growing up or who have to live with something like epilepsy. So I hope you enjoy, and you'll get more videos like this in the coming weeks. Hello, everyone. This is Steven. I'm specifically here with Bella, my friend, and also with Hanisa. Hanisa is here for translation support and emotion support as well. Bella, how are you doing?
Right.
Good. That's good. And how are you doing?
Good as well.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about maybe some of your journey. So for context, could you tell people a little bit about yourself?
Jadi perjalanan kamu gimana? Minta tentang diri kamu. Perjalanannya sungguh sulit. Kadang ada yang mudah, sulit, terus liku-liku lah ya, seperti itu. Saya mengalami epilepsi dari kelas 6 SD dan mengalami skizofrenia mulai dari lulus SMA tahun 2020. Jadi, so she said that the journey is hard for her. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. The pathway is so she's struggling with it. She have diagnosed with epilepsy as well, and it started on elementary school. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this makes sense. And maybe one other quick thing for anyone, in case you're wondering. I do have a cold, so if my voice sounds deeper or if I randomly start coughing, that's why. But yeah, what was it like growing up with epilepsy?
Kamu merasa gimana waktu
in elementary school?
Tumbuh ya. Kamu kan tumbuh gede dari kecil udah epilepsi, terusnya gimana kamu? Rasanya dari kelas 6 SD itu mulai ke trigger ya. Tentang pembulian, terus dan SMP saya memilih individu waktu sekolahnya, dan akhirnya SMA saya memilih paket C. Saya memilih individu karena saya trauma karena dibully dari kecil. So she said that at first the most triggering experience for her is when she was in the 6th grade. When in the 6th grade she got like bullying from her friends. So when in junior high school she chose to be a lone wolf. She chose to be person who didn't interact with someone else, anybody else. So at the senior high, at time of senior high, she chose to do like pakai C in Indonesia. It's like an exam, but not the majority of people who does that. It's not the official exam from the senior high school. It's the you can do like packet A is for elementary school, packet B is for junior high, and packet C is for senior high. Bella just did the packet C because she didn't want to experience having to get around the people in school.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, I'm glad that you had that option, but it seems like that there's a lot of, honestly, it seems like there's a bit of hardship there. How did the students bully you?
Jadi dia paham, jadi kayak untung ada kayak opsi lain itu dia ada pakai tadi kan, jadi dia bisa menghindari itu. Tapi kalau dia tanya lagi, jadi kayak kamu gimana merasanya waktu experience waktu pengalaman waktu kamu dibully itu, kamu merasa seperti apa gitu?
Saya merasa sakit hati karena telah dibully tanpa merasa bersalah. Saya sebenarnya tidak pernah punya kesalahan dengan teman-teman SD, tetapi saya dibully dan dikata-katakan kotoran hewan, kuman, dan tidak suka dengan teman-teman yang lain.
Okay. She said that she was so heartbroken when she was in elementary school. At that time when she was in 6th grade, she felt that there's friends who say bad things to her. Used to mock her, saying that she was a poop of the animal. She said that you are bacteria, you are that kind of bad words all said to her, but she felt that she don't do anything wrong at that time. But all of her friends mock her in front of her.
Wow. Why?
And
Keep going. I'm sorry.
yeah, is it?
Why did they mock you? Is it just because you had epilepsy, or yeah, that seems awful.
Kamu diolok-olok tuh karena epilepsi aja tuh kayak lebih kenapa aku bisa diolok, kayak kira-kira teman-teman tuh itu kenapa kamu tahu nggak atau kamu nggak tahu?
Nggak tahu.
Kamu okay. So she said that her friends didn't know that she had epilepsy at that time, so it wasn't about it.
Yeah, this makes sense. It seems like in and of itself, having epilepsy is something that can be very difficult to process, especially as a kid. And it seems like you kind of also had to deal with people treating you differently at the same time.
Jadi pasti dia bilang pasti berat buat Bella kan, jadi kayak epilepsi kan sesuatu yang kalau diketahui nanti kan pasti orang-orang bakal kayak gitu kayak
Pernah mengalami gitu ya. Bagaimana caranya mengalami itu, perjuangannya, dan entah bagaimana rasanya yang mengalami seperti saya, entah itu bisa pulih atau tidak. Belum tentu orang yang mengalami seperti saya akan sekuat ini.
Yeah, he said that many people experience epilepsy, but she don't think that every other person can survive as much as she survived. She survived, she grew, she learned as much, and she didn't stop believing in herself like that. She still have still have the courage to stand in her self.
That's good. That's awesome.
Okay.
What do you think helped give you that courage?
Kamu kok bisa seberani itu, percaya diri itu dengan dirimu tuh, apa yang membantumu, kayak apa sih gitu?
Saya berjuang dengan diri sendiri karena saya menyemangati diri sendiri kalau orang itu tidak pernah ada yang membela saya, terus dan saya pernah dibully itu. Saya rasanya sakit hati, rasanya ingin balas dendam. Dan saya akhirnya kelas 5 SD mengamuk di satu kelas dan mengguyur satu teman saya, teman dekat saya.
So she said that after she got bullied in elementary school, she wants to take a revenge with the people who bullied her, and that's actually happened. when she was in 5th grade, she took some water with her, and she splashed it to the person who with her, and she got exploded, burst in the class.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a different story, but when I was that age, I also did that to a boy who was yelling at me, and I happened to have some very hot water because I was like boiling some water, and I went. And I didn't realize that it's hot.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. It didn't burn him,
Oh.
which is good. But like I didn't really think about it all the way.
Yeah.
This makes sense. I mean, like maybe in general, like what was it like kind of learning about your epilepsy and kind of processing that you had epilepsy and some of the other issues that you also developed, like the schizophrenia and stuff like that?
Kamu gimana kayak memprosesnya di dalam diri kamu kalau tahu, ternyata emang aku epilepsius, aku terkena schizophrenia. Kamu cara memprosesnya biar bisa kayak berdamai, kayak udah gitu, kayak gimana?
Oke, saya berdamai dengan diri sendiri karena telah diberi saran oleh kakak saya, karena pemulihan itu penting dan harus minum obat rutin jika ingin sembuh.
So she made peace with herself. She said that what helped her the most is that her sister told her to you can be good if you keep drinking your medicine and you keep on growing as a person, and I will be there to support you. You see, said that, ya?
Yeah.
Oke, kan mau tambah sekarang boleh? Udah, oke.
That makes sense, and that's important to have that support from your sister, from your family. How did you feel when she said that?
Perasaannya Bella gimana pas kakak bilang kayak gitu?
Rasanya tidak terima jika dikejar-kejar atau dipaksa untuk minum obat. Sebenarnya saya tidak suka waktu itu awal kena epilepsi, dan saya menyembunyikan obat itu di bawah kasur, dan saya mengaku kalau saya sudah minum obat dan obatnya habis.
Okay. So she said that at first it was hard for her to accept that she had epilepsy, and when her sister said that you have to routinely have your medicine, she didn't have that medicine, so she hid it below her bed, and she didn't drink it, but she said she drank it to her sister or her family.
This makes sense. Yeah, that makes total sense. I'm glad. Like, the medicine can be complicated in and of itself. Like, what is the medicine like? I thought sometimes epilepsy medicine can be both complicated and have a lot of side effects too.
Jadi kamu kan medisinya medicine epilepsinya tuh apakah banyak atau kayak harus kayak benar-benar harus teratur atau harus kayak berbahari gitu.
Awal kena epilepsi saya meminum obat dengan 3 kali sehari, pagi, siang, malam. Setelah bertahun 2 tahun kemudian dosis diturunkan menjadi 2 kali sehari, lalu diturunkan kembali pada tahap selanjutnya jadi 1 kali sehari, dan tahun ini jadi 2 hari sekali.
So she said that at first she got diagnosed with epilepsy. She had to drink medicine 3 times a day, and 3 years later she got reduced the dose by 2 times a day, and then after that got reduced again 1 time a day, and like nowadays she only drink it every 2 days, one every 2 days.
Okay, so it's getting less and less. So I guess it's getting easier. And what do you feel like? So with what you're saying with your sister, you were talking about focusing on personal growth. What do you think the growth has looked like for you over the last couple of years?
kan kamu tadi bilang sama AA jadi kayak fokus tentang pertumbuhan diri gitu. Nah pertumbuhan dirimu yang beberapa tahun ke belakang ini seperti apa?
Saya sebenarnya perjalanan hidup ini sedang mengalami stres terus, dan saya mengalami merasa kesendirian, individu, tidak punya teman, merasa dijauhkan dengan teman dekat, dan ingin bersosialisasi jadi tidak percaya diri. Dan saya memutuskan untuk mengendap di rumah sendiri, menahan diri di rumah sendiri.
So what she felt right now, she feels so lonely, she feels so stressed, she's like tired with the life she's going on lately. She felt like no friends like understand her, like I cannot say anything to anybody. My friend got away from me and they want to get close to me, and she said that she chose to go to her home, go to her own house and isolate herself there, and they don't want to get burdened by anybody else. Yeah, like that.
I could definitely see it seems like your friends aren't. If your friends are discounting you like that, I could understand wanting to go home and be safe there. How does it feel when this happens and when you go home by yourself? How does it feel?
Perasaan Amira gimana pas udah tahu kan kamu nggak gitu, kamu mau pulang? Enggak bukan, ya setuju. Tapi kayak kamu kenapa pas kamu kayak gitu, kamu mau pulang aja gitu, kamu kayak gimana perasaan kamu kayak waktu mau pulang sendiri gitu gitu.
Sebenarnya saya merasa tidak dianggap dengan teman, tidak berguna kepada tetangga, dan saya merasa sakit hati, merasa rendah diri kepada diri sendiri, kecewa dengan diri sendiri. Kenapa saya selalu direndahkan, dijauhkan, dan diejek dengan teman sebaya.
You said that her mind is occupied with the thinking that all of her friends, the peer doesn't want to get near her, and she cannot interact well with her peer group. All of the friend like putting her outside of that circle.
I could see that, and I obviously I'm not like a medical expert, but I thought some of the medication for epilepsy could be very strong, and it can do a lot too. This makes sense. It's unfortunate that this has been isolating you in this way. What have you found kind of helps you feel connected? What helps you feel connected with others?
Jadi apa yang kamu merasa dibikin kamu merasa terhubung dengan orang lain itu apa yang kamu bisa merasa terhubung kayak apa yang bisa?
Saya merasa terhubung dengan orang lain mulai dari berobat skizo ini, dan saya mulai percaya diri setelah minum obat penyakit skizo ini, dan saya jadi percaya diri untuk bersosialisasi kembali dengan teman sebaya, dan saya ikut bergabung di komunitas KPSI. Saya merasa bangga dengan diri sendiri, dan saya juga senang bisa berkumpul dengan teman-teman yang lain seperti Mbak Hanisa dan teman yang lain, karena saya suka dengan teman yang pengertian, mendukung satu sama lain, dan bisa mendukung belajar untuk mengenali penyakit mental.
Like you said that she felt connected now, especially with people in KPS like me and the other friends here, because she like it when people around her is understanding, people around her is can support each other in their own way like that, and she said that she like it that she can learn a lot from joining this community.